Hello and welcome back to the Pink Floyd album ranking saga. Number 4, we're in the home stretch. This is episode 12, I want to say. And in this one, we have the one-of-a-kind, ever-so-special Wish You Were Here. This is the band's, oh boy, 9th, I want to say, studio album. If Dark Side was 8th, yeah. 1975, this was actually the album that followed up the Dark Side. This is the third and final album of the trio that I talk about in Atom Heart Mother, where you have Atom Heart Mother, Metal, and this album. They're all kind of similar. They have similar structures, different songs, but wow, let's talk about this one. This is another one that I had a really hard time placing because, again, all of these top 5s could really be number 1s. Metal, this, and the other 3. Wow, where do I start with this album? Well, it immediately followed up Dark Side, and it's very different from Dark Side, and I think, honestly, that's actually a good thing. I love Dark Side, but the sound-wise, I'll take this over Dark Side. This album is another one that from cover to cover, front to back, is perfect. 10 out of 10, perfect. And it does it with just 5 songs, technically 4. This is also the third and final album to have one super long epic song and then a couple of short ones. However, this one does it differently. In this one, instead of like Atom Heart Mother, where you have the long song taking up all of side 1 and the little songs on side 2, or Echoes, where you have the little songs on side 1 and the big song on side 2, this one splits it in half. You have parts 1 through 5 of the big song on side 1, and you have parts 6 through 9 on side 2 at the end. Of course, I am talking about Shine On You Crazy Diamond, which we will talk about. So this album, as an adult, I've grown to appreciate, but as a kid, I was like, man, that, compared to The Wall or The Dark Side, why does that? You know, I love it. As a kid, I think I was more thinking, why doesn't it sound like The Dark Side? But it's an amazing album. Again, 10 out of 10. The 3 songs that are not Shine On are radio singles, and Shine On is Shine On. That's the best way I can explain it. So, album came out in 75. Interestingly enough, as you know, Shine On is track 1 and track 5, with 3 songs in the middle. 1 on side 1 and 2 on side 2. The interesting thing, and I didn't know this until actually fairly recently. Well, not fairly, but David Gilmour wanted Shine On to be the entirety of side 1 with the new material on side 2. Waters wanted Shine On to be split in half and bookend the album with the new material in the middle. Waters being Waters, he won the argument. But I think it makes this album more distinct. I think that out of all 3 of the long Pink Floyd songs, Atom Heart Mother, Echoes, and Shine On, I think Shine On is probably the best one. I know I just said that. I know Echoes is good, but Shine On is something else. And of course, you have the 3 other songs. How can we forget? You have Welcome to the Machine, which is I don't even know how to describe it other than that it's a masterpiece. You have Have a Cigar, which has Roy Harper on vocals. Again, hands down masterpiece. In fact, I heard that song on the radio earlier today with my mom in the car, and we had the radio announcer was talking something. There's a radio station I listen to where he does little music trivia. He'll be like, "Did you know that in 1968 this was the first drummer who got banned from the Holiday Inn?" It's Keith Moon. He was doing one about the Dark Side. Immediately said something about Pink Floyd. I can't remember the trivia. I wish I did now, but he said something about Dark Side of the Moon. Immediately I hear the intro to Have a Cigar, and I tell my mom, I say, that's not Dark Side. Then he immediately says, not Dark Side, but Wish You Were Here Now with Have a Cigar. Listen to the song. My mom said, where does this fall on your album rankings? And I said, number 4. Could be number 1, but I named the 3 albums as number 1. I said, this album is a masterpiece, and it is. Great timing, too. You have a Cigar, and then you have Wish You Were Here, which is a beautiful song. It's crazy. And of course, Shine On, 6 through 9. So, do I have a favorite track off this album? No. They are equally all good. I will listen to any of them equally. I literally cannot pick. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, if you put it together, is actually Pink Floyd's longest song. It's like 26 or 27 minutes, but it's split in 1 through 5 and 6 through 9. And I think what I really love about this album is that the album itself is kind of about Syd Barrett. It really is. In fact, the song Shine On You Crazy Diamond is completely about Syd Barrett. Speaking of Syd Barrett, while they were recording the song Wish You Were Here, I want to say it was Wish You Were Here, they were recording the album, I want to say the song Wish You Were Here, they got a visit in Abbey Road Studios from someone they didn't know. Pink Floyd fans already know where I'm going. If you don't, listen in. It's a overweight, bald guy with no eyebrows who, according to Waters, would sit on the couch, would get up and brush his teeth with a little toothbrush in his chest pocket and sit back down over and over. Then he left. Or rather, no, I'm skipping ahead. Waters kept asking, he was like, who is that? Who is that guy? They assumed it was staff at Abbey Road. It was like, who is that? Waters eventually realized it was Syd Barrett. He had come and visited them after, at least 5 to 6 years of not making contact with them. That's not true because they recorded the solo. But Waters was so distraught by this that he started crying with the sight of Barrett now. And that picture is haunting. You can find it online. They took a picture of him when he was there. And they played him some of the material from this, and his reaction was that it sounded a bit old. He proceeded to leave Abbey Road without saying anything to anyone, and that was the last time that any of the band members ever saw him until, he died in 2006. So the song Shine On was written completely about him, which is, I think, why I love it so much. And it has the distinct sections. It features, I'm going to use David Gilmour's correct terminology, the arpeggio. Features one of the most famous arpeggios of all time, the da-na-na-na. But anyway, I don't have a lot to say because I've really covered it. Welcome to the Machine, again, 10 out of 10. Have a Cigar, 10 out of 10. This album is perfect. Just like Metal, I will tell you, I had a really hard time picking this over Metal. I did. I think the reason is because Metal, every song is a 10 out of 10. This one, every song is a 10 out of 10.5. 10.5 out of 10. I mean, One of These Days, Saint-Tropez, all those songs are great. But if I had to pick one to listen to, I think for the experience, it would be this one. As you can see, very simple art on the front. Very simple art on the back. And that is all you have. So, I don't think this is going to be a super long one. What a phenomenal album this is. I literally don't have a single bad thing to say, and this is a lot of people's favorites. I think this and Animals, I see a lot of people's favorites. Animals, I don't really get it. This one I do. This album deserves every positive review it gets. Fun fact, too, about this album, years ago, this was the first thing that I ever won in an eBay auction. This actual album. I bought many things on eBay since then, but years ago, I put a bid in for this, and I won it. I think I paid like, I don't know, $25 maybe? I don't know. It wasn't that much, but I bought it. It was one of the first records I had ever bought, not at a show or in person, so I was really nervous. I was like, oh, should I take a chance on it? And I did. I'm glad I did. It plays phenomenal, but that's irrelevant to the album itself. Masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece, this album is. I could listen to it right now. Same with Metal, and especially Shine On. You would think with a song that's technically 27 minutes long, you would get bored of it. You don't. It's beautiful, and I don't really have anything else to say about it other than that. I'm kind of rambling, so I think I'm going to call it for this one, but that is it. Number 4, Wish You Were Here, a freaking masterpiece. So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in number 3, which I think probably going to surprise a lot of you, maybe. But that's it. Wish You Were Here, 10 out of 10 masterpiece. See you in the next one.